Your journey of revolution was just a passing dream. Let me take you back to reality, child.
What will happen to my friends?
You don't have to worry. As long as you can accept that this place is real, everyone will be safe. That world is past any point of redemption. Change is impossible. The royal magic was supposed to be the turning point, but it was all for nothing. In the end, people don't want their world to change. They just want someone to be a sponge for their infinite anxieties. That's all. You can't blame Luis for wanting to end that cycle. How could anyone accept that they lived in a world that miserable?
Even so, I don't want to give up on it.
Come on, snap out of it!
What?
My, such disbelief on your face. But once you stop to consider it, the ideas fall apart. Come now. Magic? Some otherworldly force capable of anything with anxiety as its fuel? A fanciful idea to sustain a fantasy world. Illusion. All of it. Those curiosities in academia, they were there because of the place's connection to true reality. And not even they could endure. You still don't believe me. Why is that?
I still have unfinished business.
But why? What unfinished business remains in an unwinnable battle? If I hadn't saved you, you would have died there. You don't have to chase your fears and anxieties based on some misguided concept of justice. It was all illusory, and there is no shame in accepting that. Reality is a monolith. Reality is unchangeable. So stay here in Utopia, in the place you loved reading about so much.
This place, it isn't a utopia.
You mean you deny it? Will you deny that the world of the novel is utopia?
I can at least cast my usual spell for you. It's the small comforts, right? Music was the first magic this world ever knew, after all. Makes the road a little easier, right?
The journey, my friends, they were as real as anything I've known.
Why won't you understand? Please, I don't want you to die. I can't lose anything else. Truly, I see. I understand now. I remember. I had indeed lost everything. Despite my lofty ideals, I lost everything. Academia, the woman I loved, even my only child. Reality isn't just cruel. It's cruel beyond any hope of change. That's why I had wished for someone to strike me down and end my misery.
Who are you?
Me. If I were to call myself by a name you know, my name is Ethludius V. I once reigned as king. Or, I am half of one, to be accurate. I was born of the very magic that split the prince in twain, and gave rise to you and this place. No, it is not real. We are inside the book you hold. It served as your key to visiting me. This was the form of my youth, when first I entered the ancient sanctum. Perhaps it would be best to call me a discarded shadow of idealism. I once took such joy and passion from my ideals. I truly believed that I might end the strife and discrimination that plagued our people across nigh endless years. But the tremendous incomprehension and injustice that defines our world, it was more than I could bear. It broke me. And Luis is likely going through the same thing. I want to save you from that despair. I understand now that I would do this as your father. I could not bear to lose my child a second time. If you stay here, at least you'll be saved. Do you truly still want to leave this place and risk your life to face a reality you can't change?
The battle's not over yet.
You are on the cusp of dying at Luis's hands. Is that not proof enough that we lack the power to change reality? I can't let you throw your life away against that man. I must stop you. Even if you come to hate me for it. Fantasy is a curse, sweet in seeming. And if I must save you from it, I will teach you what reality is. I suppose our promise to travel the world someday is destined to be only another unfulfilled dream. Archetypes embody the power of heroes who sought to change the world. And even having mastered such power against Luis, you could accomplish nothing. I wrote all my ideas into my novel, but my love's death showed me how empty it all was. You cannot sacrifice your one life for an empty dream.
I don't want to turn my back on my ideals.
Why can't you see that those ideals will only invite ruin? If no one else, you must live. That world is beyond your help. Beyond any utopia. You must face reality, my son.
Prince!
Do
Let's
not
go.
fall prey to an impossible dream.
Wind!
So you would vainly struggle onward in the real world. The novel I wrote for you seems to have kindled only ideals of naivete in you. Then even my folly has come to haunt you. My mistakes poison your life. As your father, you leave me no choice. I will put an end to this madness. This is for your sake. Be reasonable. It was in this story, in this book, where you found your ideals. Haven't you always dreamt of utopia? Why did you resist it now? Why refuse me?
Here! Scour! Still here?
Why? You were my first reader. You of all people have to understand. I have no choice.
Forward! Let's go! The blade's edge!
So this is what it means to truly strive toward an ideal. What irony. After I spoke of fulfilling my dream alongside you. What power to see the archetypes brought to such heights in so little time. If you go back now, Your ambitions will avail you nothing. You'll only die a dog's death. What is it that drives you so?
You gave up on your hopes, but I will not.
What? You think I chose to give up? Are you this determined to cling to your beliefs? Is that truly what separates us and keeps me confined here? Such power. Can it be? No matter how dire your fate, you never gave up. You surmounted every barrier, gathered and united soul after soul, and now, at last, across 3 nations, 8 tribes, and humankind, to unite heroes across such abyssal divides would require surpassing power. The king of all archetypes. Is that the role you would seize? A true king in body and soul.
Do you hear me? Your Highness!
Oi! Wake up, Your Highness!
How? Their voices reach you? Even here? It would seem your future is not yours alone to decide.
My friends are waiting for me.
The support and ardor of your allies. Yes. The very power that reveals paths beyond your own perspective. I see. That is whence you draw your power. Neglect anxiety, and magic will lead to ruin. Even before the War of Destruction, the downfall was foretold. Yet still, they met their prophesied end. Perhaps archetypes are the will of humankind of old, left to us. A plea that we learn from their failures, that we might rebuild the future ripped from them.
I have to try. I want to know how far I can go.
Fascinating. Even as you face down the gravest oppression of reality, still you persist. Still you seek the world's unknowns as precious possibility, I see. Well, if you can believe there is more to the story than the end I see, then it is yours to tell. Once you return to reality, this place will surely fade as the dream it is. I, myself, will not be spared. Unlike you, my other half is long gone. And any reunion, lost. But if I truly am the idealized soul and hope of your father, then before I fade, I entrust you with the power of my life. Not as the author more, but as your father, the king.